Okay, I will start the process by filling one by one each letter of our sentence. As you can see, I will work separately on different parts of the lettering, just for comfort. Time to add some volume to our lettering composition. We'll follow the same order than before. Unlike Illustrator, Photoshop software allows you to get more natural looking results, although it will limit you in other aspects. At this point of our task, we are about to fill all letter shapes with solid color. In order to make it efficiently, instead of using brush for example, we are about to use pen tool. It allows us to draw clear, neat profile shape. It's really useful option, especially for making precise selections. Its use implies creation of selection path, by placing points with handlers where needed. With a quick short click, you will create a plain point, which connected to the next one will create a plain line. But if you keep pressing on this point, a handler will appear. These handlers connected to another point will create a curve. Depending on handler's length, the shape will be more or less pronounced. If the handlers of a particular point are aligned, they will create a soft curve. But if one handler is missing, result will be a cutting angle connected to a curve. In addition, there are free options available, such as pen tool with plus and pen tool with minus, and converting a point. With the first two you will be able to add and remove points from your traced path, and the last one will allow you to delete or create new handlers. Recalling the sketch phase, I would like to underline once again the importance of the stem's width. If it's maintained through all the words, it will convey consistency and homogeneity. It happens as well with the shape's definition. For example, there are some pointy shapes that repeat every now and then, and they express the same mood. Turning back to our current phase, you can appreciate as the shapes we obtain by using pen tool are sharp and soft at the same time. Thought your control over pen tool is less sensitive compared to Illustrator. It's still a really useful one. Alright, once filled all the letters, one clearly sees which spaces and shapes between letters are to be adjusted. Pay special attention to the counter shapes. They also should look alike one to another. When it comes to the word ninja in capital letters, our pen's trace will help us to create a beautiful curve for the G, which will wrap the baseball bat. Time to pick up brush tool. Now we are about to draw the bat pierced by nails, the last part of the lettering composition. In order to do so, first of all, fit all general shapes into the gap on the left. We will mask the layer with the letters and hide the part of the G where bat drawing will appear. In this part the brush tool will be more suitable for us, as the drawing of the bat is not so precisely defined as the letter shapes. It's just to get the general idea. We'll work on defining it from now on. You can adjust brush hardness as well as brush dynamics by pressing this panel if you want to. but this time it will be enough with a plain essential brush with 9-point size. During documentation step, in search of reference, I have picked some images of bed, twisted nails, and wood texture, so we can use them as reference point. I feel comfortable when using a not really hard brush and eraser while drawing, but this is really up to you. The idea behind it is to refer to the character of Steve Harrington and at the same time to the scene where he uses a bat. It gives a whole new dimension to the lettering. After defining the contour, I will begin by drawing the grip, followed by claws and some texture. We'll use one type of solid brush, as to achieve cutting shapes. Nails we will draw will look sharp and twisted, as if they were old and rusty, in contrast with the bat itself. Start adding details every now and then, always trying to go from the biggest parts to the tiniest. This bat was cut along the grain of the wood, therefore the long texture strokes will follow its shape. It is now when the photos become really useful. For example, wood texture will also give impression of volume, as its streaks follow the shape of the bat. In the last instance, I would go over the contour shapes to make the drawing look more powerful. Well done! Now we have the whole lettering filled with one solid color, and we can see with more precision the composition and correct those aspects we are not in love with. Now, let's switch to our second lettering. This time the general shapes are much rougher and it looks really geometrical. The letter shapes are as fierce as the meaning of these words. On this occasion, the upper rows with caps could be constructed by using pen tool, especially when you are confident about the shapes of your sketch. But I'll use another technique, which requires the use of rectangle tool or rectangle tool marquee. Use the rectangle to define one of the stem widths. Then just start copying it over each stem of Star Wars lettering. Use it for vertical and for horizontal as well. For this matter, press Ctrl plus T and rotate the shape. We will begin by filling letters with solid color, as the previous lettering. I've picked red color this time instead of black, but remember, it's just for initial phase, and black always serves you better for this purpose. When it comes to the letters G, O, U and R, we can switch from rectangle to circle too. For example, for your O, you should create a big oval and then with a smaller one selected over it, just press Shift. Use the O you've created for the rest of the rounded letters by copy-pasting them. Afterwards, you'll just need to combine them with the rectangular part of stems, as in the case of U. When you are finished with assembling rectangular and circular shapes, you can help yourself by using Pen tool. Take advantage of the repetitive features and select and chop off all the elements that interfere with the letter shapes which should be followed. There are tiny imperfections every now and then, but we'll leave them for now. The only part that resembles to the previous lettering is hate word, as the shapes of the letters look like some kind of large cuts or scratches bleeding. Here we go back to the pen tool technique, as the letter shapes are more organic. Hate contains more pointy angles, and the curves are slight in comparison to the Stranger Things. Well, the two upper rows, besides their shapes, are supposed to contain some kind of rounded stroke inside each letter, and they also follow the structure of the letter. So, let's polish them gently, one by one, by using the pen tool. These internal strokes are replicating what could be called letter bones. You have used them when we have started sketching the whole composition. It's a basic linear solution to any letter, but on this occasion we will use them as an extra decorative element for our quote. Speaking about letters proportions, as we said before, there is difference between two types of letters used in this sentence. The main reason why the rows look so different one from another, besides of their stems, is because of the so-called x-height. While in the first type the height is almost the same as the width, in the second example it almost doubles its size. A comparison that could be used between those two letters is that it's like meeting dwarf and an elf. The first one will suggest stability and strength by its appearance, and the second one agility and dominance. Alright, the shapes of the lettering fillings are probably not ideal right now, but we'll polish them during the following parts of the process. See you in the part 4.